And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving forward for the final panel discussion, and the topic for this discussion is smart and safe cities. And the moderator for the session is Mr. Manpreet Singh, Chief Program Officer, National Urban Digital Mission, National Institute of Urban Affairs. And the speakers for this panel are Mr. Narasimha Komar, IPS, Additional Director General, Police Law and Order, Gandhinagar, Government of Gujarat. Mr. R.K. Arora, Commandant, BSF, Headquarters and Advisor, IIT Mumbai. Dr. Shena Aggarwal, IAS, Commissioner, Ludhiana Municipal Corporation. Mr. Ajay Singh Tomar, IAS Commissioner, Karnal Municipal Corporation. Mr. Amit Aasery, IAS Chief Executive Officer, Aligarh Smart City Limited. Dr. Nitin Gaur, IAS Municipal Commissioner, Ghaziabad Municipal Corporation. Mr. Aishwarya Dongre. Miss Aishwarya Dongre, IPS District Police Chief, Thrissur, Government of Kerala. Mr. Sandeep Malvi, CEO and Additional Commissioner, Thane Smart City Limited, Government of Maharashtra. So here we have our panelists. Can we please have a huge round of applause for all of them?
Hello, good evening. Good evening, all. Thank you thank you to all the audience. Thank you, guest here. Good evening. And today's theme is digital cities, safer cities, smarter cities. About me, I head National Urban Digital Mission, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. National Urban Digital Mission aims to digitalize the urban services per se. When we talk about urban services, talk about property tax collection, water sewer connections, talk about municipal accounting, talking about building plan approval systems, all those systems, citizen services, business services, and typically internal efficiency services like municipal accounting, asset management. So all these, we aim to digitalize in our next 3 years. We aim to digitalize in all the cities of the country. That's the mission objective. Coming back to Smart Cities mission, we strongly believe Smart City mission in the last 7 years, at least in 100 cities, it has given nudge to the cities. It has given a nudge to the ULBs of the country that, with some effort, sustained funding, these solutions are available, solutions are being implemented, and it's obviously helping ease of living, ease of doing business in the cities. So I would like to introduce, get a round of introduction to our participants first. Mr. Narasimha Komar, he is ADGP Law and Order, Gandhinagar, Gujarat, and
good evening, everybody. Myself, Narasimha Kumar, Additional DGP Law and Order. Basically, I'm a 1996 batch IPS officer of the state. And basically, I was connected with the technology-based projects in Gujarat, leading of them being Vishwas, which is a CCTV camera-based safety and integrated traffic management solution covering 41 cities across the state. We have also inducted 10,000 plus body-worn cameras and set up a integrated command and control center at Gandhinagar. And we were one of the few who have inducted 10,000 plus body-worn cameras in the state, and to come up with something like this. And from the cyber crime perspective, we have developed infrastructure, and hence I believe we'll be able to make some contribution during the discussions. Thank you. I happen to be the single point of contact on security issues as well. We had two back-to-back events, one in Dhodo, Kutch, that was a working group meet on tourism, and another in Ahmedabad, which was essentially Urban 20, which was an inception meeting on urban governance issues. Of course, security arrangements are made. I can remotely monitor with the teams that we have on the ground. Thank you.
So, Mr. R.K. Arora, you can introduce yourself.
Good evening, friends. Myself, R.K. Arora. I am basically working in the field of cyber security from almost last 10 years. I was earlier working with the government of Rajasthan on the cyber security issues. I am also associated with the IIT Delhi and IIT Bombay. So today we are discussing very important and relevant topic about the digital transformation. In the similar way, all the cities around the world are now using a lot of technology, digital infrastructure to become the smart cities. So, because the new technologies and digital infrastructure bring the lot of efficiency and improve the quality of the citizens, that's why these things are very popular. So, digital infrastructure and new technologies are basically integral part of the smart cities. So when we use the technology and digital infrastructure, it's also bring a lot of vulnerability to the system. So vulnerability in the form of information security, right of privacies, and so many issues. So when we use particularly information and communication technologies in smart city infrastructure, there are a lot of chances. There is leakage of informations and the cyber attacks. So today briefly I will address the few issues, how we can prevent these things, what are the preventive measures we can take so that we can minimize the risk. So in cyber security parlance or information security parlance, we call it as CIA grid. CIA grid means confidentiality, then integrity and availability. When I talk about the confidentiality, it means maintain the confidentiality of the information, means restrict the access to only authorized user so that open access is not there. This will restrict or regulate the information. Second point about the integrity. Maintain the integrity of the data or correctness of the information. If we are not giving the unauthorized access for deletion, addition or modification to unauthorized user, it means the information is very authentic and data is correct. Third course part, which is A, that speaks about the availability. Availability of the information to the different users. If we are regulating tightly, like restricting the access, it should not be restricted that much, there is no access to anyone. Then system will collapse, things will not work. So there should be a balance between the restrictions and the availability. Availability of the system should be there to the authorized people who are authorized for that and who can access that. So to ensure all these three things, or for the compliance of these three things, confidentiality, integrity and availability, there are generally people recommend 9 tools for the information security by which we can minimize the risk of information breach or cyber attacks. First tool is authentication. Suppose we are giving a access of system or this infrastructure to the user, ensure that right people are accessing the right things through proper authentication. Suppose I have access to any of the system, but I am extending that access to somebody else, it will lead to misuse of that system. So only authorized people should have access with two-step verification. That's recommended. Second point about the access control. Access control means what type of access you are extending to the user. Either they are accessing the information as per their authorization or powers delegated to them, or they are using the information beyond their power. That should be regularly monitored and taken care. Third point, which is very important, is encryption of the data. If we are using the encryption system for the data security or information security, that can be very helpful to secure the information of this digital infrastructure or for smart cities. And fourth tool, which we say, is password. Password is very important, and these days a lot of emphasis is given to the passwords. Strong password with regular change of passwords by the user can improve the information security. Because as we are entering in new phase, the government is also giving a lot of priorities to the information security. And there are new policies and regulations are coming on this. So next point, which is backup. If you are having a data or any information, better you should always have a backup of those information system. If we are having a proper backup, then there are less chances of breach of information security. And the sixth tools is the firewalls. If we are using proper firewall system in these infrastructure at proper places, it will also improve the information and digital infrastructure. In addition to that, some of the practices being followed by the corporate houses, one of them is virtual private network. This is also being used by the corporate houses to secure their information, to maintain the CIA grid so that there is no unauthorized access to the data. And eighth point speaks about the physical security. Now we are discussing about the other tools. Physical security is also very important tool for the digital infrastructure and information security. If our infrastructure is secured physically and it is monitored through some physical means, it is also giving you a lot of improvement in the information security, or you can secure your information in better way. And the ninth tool and the last which we recommend or experts recommend is the security policies. Security policies related to information security or digital infrastructure security should regularly be evaluated, upgraded and improved so that you are moving with the speed of technology, because the security policies, if not upgraded regularly, then those things will become obsolete and irrelevant. Those will not help you to secure your systems and information. So overall, if we want to secure our information and digital infrastructure, we can broadly use this CIA grid with the help of these 9 tools. So can we minimize the risk of information breach and cyber attacks. This is broadly about the information security and the cyber attacks prevention.
Thank you, Mr. R.K. Arora. Thank you. The takeaway, CIA, the confidentiality, integrity and availability, and 9 tools for sure gonna help the whole digital infrastructure safe. Now I'll come back to Ms. Aishwarya Dongre. She is IPS District Police Chief in Thrissur, Government of Kerala. So I've been to Kerala ma'am, almost 3-4 times in the last 3-4 months. I've been working closely with the urban department, and the kind of proactiveness which I see in at least the urban department, it's wonderful to see the kind of long-term vision they have around this urban mission or smart cities mission. I would like to understand from a Kerala police perspective, what kind of initiatives from a safety perspective kind of taken from a citizen.
Thank you, Manpreet. I would like to introduce myself as Aishwarya Dongre. I belong to the 2017 batch of the Indian Police Service, and firstly, it's my absolute pleasure to be part of this highly esteemed panel. So at the onset itself, Mr. Manpreet, as you stated, that Kerala government per se has been taking the idea of urbanization and smart cities to a very, very serious angle in all aspects. The panel discussion today, as we are speaking about, is smart cities, but a very, very important extension of smart cities is a safe city. And I think that's where the role of the police, the Kerala police, is extremely crucial. In today's morning inauguration session, Mr. Alkesh Ji spoke about digital service delivery, and I think each department and all the government officials who have come, and I'm sure even the private agencies, in their different manners, in their different perspectives, are working towards better service delivery in the entire ambit of e-governance. So when we speak about digital penetration, when we speak about digital connectivity, we see it as a wave which has been ridden over by government officials and private agencies alike, but at the same time with criminals as well. So it's the criminals as well who have been actually riding on this wave and seeing that the more smarter you create a city, the more loopholes is what they find so that they could infringe into the system. I'll give you a very small example. Speaking about child sexual exploitation, and I think that's something which all of us present out here need to listen to. When we speak about child sexual exploitation, especially when it is going on to the digital space, it should raise our attention. Today, cyber-enabled human trafficking, especially of children, is on the rise. This is one area I thought I will just list down a couple of frauds that we have seen under the Kerala police aegis, and I would like to throw light about how we are making these areas safer. So one is, as I said, cyber-enabled human trafficking. The second is something which has been constantly being spoken about, is having our own websites, the government itself, the police itself, the administration itself, our websites to be more safe and to be more secure. The other thing, and I think that was one area which we really, because it's a black area, we need to speak more about, is the dark net. So dark net is another area where criminals alike have been infringing, and it could be drug trafficking, it could be the sale of unnecessary items, anti-social activities have also seen a rise. And lastly and most importantly, something which we all have been seeing is digital addiction. Not just among adults, but also among young kids, which have also led to suicidal tendencies if not being addressed properly. So these are the few pointers that I wish to throw upon. Coming to the work that is done by Kerala Police, number one is something which is known as a Child Sexual Exploitation Cell. We have a CCSE Exploitation Center, which is based in Trivandrum City. We continuously watch people through various tools and techniques on people consuming child pornography. As per the IT Act and as per the POCSO Act, consuming child pornography itself is a crime. So we conduct a number of operations. So since the past couple of years, we've been conducting operation known as P-Hunt, under which we've been arresting people who have been consuming this data. The reason for arresting such people is for people to know that today the digital space has become a huge monster which is subject to a lot of infringement by bad people like this. One important extension, and I think since morning what we have been speaking about, is collaboration. So in this area of child sexual exploitation, Kerala Police has joined hands with Interpol and various agencies, the Australian government, with the US Embassy, where we are constantly creating identification task forces. So for example, what happens is initially we were arresting people who are consuming child pornography on the data. But what about the victims? So we also took an effort with identifying victims who are on this on the cyberspace who probably would be anonymous if not identified. So we have collaborated with Interpol, so that's one thing. When I speak of collaboration, Cocoon is one conference which I would very specifically like to highlight upon. It's like today's digital transformation conclave. Cocoon is a setup where like-minded people, private agencies, governments from all organizations, everybody come down for a 2 to 3 day event and do a constant brainstorming session. We have number of tracks dealing with, say, financial security, women and children's security. That is a very important highlight of Kerala Police, where we try to bring all agencies under one roof to fight cybercrime. I'm sure many of you all, especially in the police or the government, know of this agency called Cyber Dome. So Cyber Dome is also an extension of having private people. So we agree, like say the police department, the government department has to constantly improve their training, their capabilities. But the private sector also is going at a skyrocketing phase with regard to their capacity enhancement. So collaborating with the private agencies, we have something known as a cyber dome, where continuously police and private agencies together work towards finding solutions to cyber security and issues like this. I spoke about the dark web. So one extension of the cyber dome and the cocoon is something known as the grapnel. Grapnel is a tool that we have developed, and it's in a very nascent stage, but this grapnel tool we are trying to use to be able to identify, say, people, drug traffickers, child traffickers on the dark web. This is a tool which has been developed by the police as well as private agencies alike to be able to do better dark web monitoring. As I said, I would not be hitting upon much about the website security or the government website security, which I think has been spoken about at detail by the private agencies as well. But I think most of us, especially those with the government agencies, need to understand that security at home, that is security of our websites, our pages, is extremely important. So we are using SD-WAN connectivity, firewall connectivity, next-gen connectivity, so on and so forth. So understanding that conducting regular security audits and vulnerability assessment of our own websites is extremely crucial. And lastly, we spoke about public service delivery, and I think as Sir already spoke about, is all state governments, all state police are constantly working on better service delivery to people with regard to using of digital space. So we have something known as the PAL app. So PAL app, say for example, I am a woman, I do not want to go to the police station because of course there's taboo associated with it. On the PAL app, easy surface, easy interface, I could directly book an appointment with the inspector, with the woman sub-inspector, saying, I want to come and meet you on so and so day. I would like an appointment. Number two, I'm saying this in Kerala, we have a lot of people who stay in the Gulf. So many of them have locked houses, big houses but locked houses. So in case I'm going out, I will lock the house. I can actually put an application on my PAL app and say, hi dear police, my house is locked, kindly keep a taboo. So like these, we have a number of services that are there on our PAL app to improve the service delivery mechanism for our people in a more integrated, a more safer and a more secure atmosphere. So this is what the actual definition. I'm not saying Kerala has aced the idea of a smart and safe city, but we are definitely working step by step in a very collaborated manner for definitely ensuring a smart and a safe city. Thank you.
Thanks, Aishwarya. It was wonderful to listen to some of those words like cocoon, cyber dome, D-O-M-E, cyber dome, and then grapnel,
Grapnel,
G-R-A-P-N-E-L, grapnel, and the ball app.
I'm sorry, PAL app. PAL app.
P-A-U-L, PAL.
P-O-L, police app. So PAL app.
PAL app.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have a very interesting question, Aishwarya, at 3 levels. One is government capacity to deal with cybersecurity. Second, citizen awareness. How much are they aware? I know Kerala has maximum literacy. And third, your personal technical capacity. How do you handle these 3 typical areas, and how do you see states moving, or country moving towards government capacity to handle cybersecurity, citizens awareness, and personal capacity like officer like you?
So I think that's a very smart question to ask, in fact, because I think when you're speaking of government capacity, we have, as I said, ridden upon the entire Digital India mission, the Digital India wave. We are doing, I mean, all governments alike, all departments alike have taken every capacity ahead. But what we also need to know, as we are going ahead, so are cyber criminals, you know, enhancing their own capabilities to go ahead. So it's a constant race of who is one step ahead. So what is important is continuous capacity building of everybody. Understanding, like I think the gentleman before us who gave a presentation on DEPA, he spoke about telecom service providers. Telecom service providers have an onus, like say for example, if there is a child pornography matter, they have to give it within a certain period of time. So I mean, each agency, government and the alike, has been working for better service delivery in the entire e-governance setup. In my personal capacity, what I understand is been working in Kerala for the past few years. We have put like a dedicated, focused attention on not just a smart city, as I said, but a very important extension of safe city. So with a lot of policies and a lot of government intervention in this regard, and I said like the private players have also been playing a very, very important role in this. So this collaborated approach, I feel, has enabled Kerala police, Kerala government in fact, to take very positive and very progressive steps ahead.
Thanks, Aishwarya. That was good. I'll move to the smart city component of it. We have Mr. Amit Aasery, he's from Aligarh Smart Cities. Before that, I'll just brief about Smart Cities mission. It is almost 1,81,000 crore project. 2015 it started. I'll talk about some of the areas, then Amit can relate to what has happened in your city. Redevelopment, retrofitting, ICCCs, vibrant public spaces, smart mobility, smart energy, smart governance, smart infrastructure. So all these areas where country is moving towards in terms of smart cities mission. So what has been the critical achievements, initiatives which your city has taken, and how do you see the smart city mission now moving forward to the smaller cities? What do you see on that front?
Thank you. Thank you for making me part of this panel. I am Amit Aasery. I am a 2016 batch IAS officer. Along with the responsibility of CEO Smart City, I am also holding the charge of Municipal Commissioner of Aligarh. And I belong to Kapurthala, which is in Punjab. So UP is my cadre, and this is my native place.
In fact, my native place is Kapurthala too. So we have to. I belong to Kapurthala too.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's the same pinch then. So. Smart city, you've been asking about the achievements of the smart city. See, I have been posted in this particular assignment for last 4 months. And it is very important to have some recapitulation of my experiences till now, because with the time, the municipal administration gives you a lot of firefighting in which you forget all the priorities which you develop. So this is an appropriate time because I have identified almost all, not all, 90% of the problems which are being faced by my city, Aligarh I'm talking about. The day I joined this place, it was in doldrums. The whole city was inundated in a flood. It is historically known as a bowl-shaped city, Katora Numa Shahar. So there is no point where the rainwater can escape out of the city. So we need a solution for that. Smart City was doing everything, each and everything, but it was not addressing the problem of drainage, which is a big problem in Aligarh. So the people were actually not owning the smart city projects. They were saying whatever is happening is not for us. So actually that day I got to realize whatever we do, the acceptability and ownership of the stakeholder mentality of the smart city has to be developed. That very day we worked on the systems, we found a solution, we had some funds left in the smart city and we brought a system which is smart drainage project, in which we will be doing, there are key positions which actually get filled by a particular level. Then we get an information that the whole city will be inundated in this particular time. So we fix some, sensors over there, and just those sensors will give us information that this is the time to activate these locations. If you don't do it, then the inundation is coming, the flood is coming. So people actually got thrilled with this particular solution. Now they started with, getting excited about the smart city. Next, there was a problem in, I have ADG sir with us in the panel. You would be, sir, and the SP ma'am is there. So you would be aware that there is a big problem in the jails. In UP, it is a massive problem. The capacity of Aligarh jail is 1200, but we have 3800 inmates. Out of those, 200 women are there. So I provided them a solution because no healthcare was taken care of. During the COVID also we have seen, a lot of problem happening in the jails. So I provided them a solution. Let us put a health ATM in your jail. What we'll do is, you get all the tests which are being done through health ATM in your campus. Nobody is going inside and outside because that's a access control area, very high risk access control area, as we all know. So the machine will be there. The inmates are being trained, not the inmates, but the jail authorities are being trained. The inmates are brought there, and we have a fantastic system, not just testing, but through telemedicine we get them consultation also. So it is a system which we are going to implement just after this month. Everything has been done, that people are liking it. Now next system was, in our city, the manholes were actually manned by the man. The man used to get inside the hole, used to get inside that filth and dug out the silt. And that was the moment I saw that this is the most laborious, and the person is working without dignity. So I ensured that we will have some robots. We got in touch with some few models, and ma'am is from Kerala. The Kerala team came up, and there is a bandicoot which is working fantastic. Then we faced a problem that my team, which actually wanted to implement it, they discarded it. They said, "Hamara kya hoga? We will be out of business." So when the team came for the testing, they will reject it. They will say, no silt is coming out. Ultimately, I had to go there and prove the bandicoots or the team which implemented the robotic system. They said, sir, aap rahiye, you stay there, then we'll be confident. So ultimately it got passed, and in a day, we used to, manually we could only clear 1 or 2 manhole in a day. And there are 10 to 15 complaints. With the help of this robot, we are attending at least 10 complaints. So that is a miracle people have seen. Now nobody will have to get into this manhole. Now the manhole, we have renamed them as robot holes or the machine holes. So ultimately we are using the technology to get dignity, saving lives of the people who are working in these dangerous jobs. And there was one more thing, when I landed, the inundation was there. Once the rain stopped, then the problem of leakages came. During that problem, I am a graduate from IIT Kanpur also. So I thought, let us put some technology. Why don't we just geotag the location of the leakages? So I found it that there are 700 odd leakages in the whole city. So we started working on it. We generated a heat map. We found a particular area which is, filled with all the leakages, and we find the contractor, and the contractor did the same work. But what the interesting thing is, during that time, the dengue occurred in the city. Dengue, actually, you must be knowing, the mosquito thrives in the fresh water. So to our surprise, the heat map generated by the leakages was almost similar to the heat map generated by the dengue patients. So we actually were solving a leakage problem, and some other problem also got solved. So dengue, actually, that problem got some control. So we got some accolades for that. Ma'am has mentioned, sir has mentioned about, violations which are being recorded by the static camera. In almost all the smart cities, we have the smart cameras. I think Chandigarh also might be having it. We have now to move a step forward, because there is a limited area where we can have, the access of those the cameras and the ANPR and all the technologies, and we can control. Now what we are doing is, we call it democratizing of data capturing as well as analysis. What we are doing is, there are models in the market. Let me just share with you. There are models in the market where I give you an opportunity, you capture the data, I will give you an incentive. You go in the market, if you find a pothole which is uncovered, a pothole or a manhole which is uncovered, I give you maybe a Paytm of 10 rupees or maybe an internet of 1 GB or something of that sort. But you analyze the data, you geotag the data, and you give it on my portal. There we have a solution in the market. We are moving ahead in that. Now what we will have is a data set of all the problematic issues and violations in the city mapped in our ICCC, and you will have a live location, where the municipal related violations are happening, where the police related violations are happening, and we can simultaneously act on it. There is one more thing regarding ICCC. I would like to say every smart city is having an ICCC. What I also saw was that once the ICCC was generated, nobody has worked on the layers which are already generated. Like if I want to see how many toilets are there in Aligarh, there was a data of 56 toilets, and that data froze on 2020. Now we have 102 toilets. After that we have constructed few more toilets, but they were not being shown. So what we did was, there was a simple solution. People say that it is a very different and cumbersome kind of a thing. We provided a very simple solution. First, we actually got all the 102 toilets geotagged and got into our ICCC system. Now we made a policy by issuing an order. Whatever new construction in all those 107 layers will be there, I will have to first geotag and get into the ICCC, and only then I will start the construction. So whether any new toilet will be coming, it will first come into our ICCC. So ICCC will have the fully functional toilets and the construction toilets. We will change the color accordingly. So this is how we are actually working with the system, with the technology in Aligarh to solve the problems of Aligarh. So I just want to ensure that people should own the smart city. What is happening is, actually the infrastructure which is there in Aligarh is not consonant with the rise in the population. There's a huge gap. So the smart solutions are the only way we can fill this gap. So that is my take on it. And I just, in the last, I would like to conclude the thing with saying that smart city is just a showcase of possibilities. In general administration, we don't get funds in those heads. Like if I want to implement IoT for sewer management, I will never get from any government. In smart city, that is a provision, and I can implement it, show to the government, and prove it. Yes, this is working. Please give me an SBM or any other fund. So a smart city is a long way to go. And the last point which you have mentioned, the small cities, we have, there are, I am the Nagar Ayukt of a municipal corporation. There are Nagar Palikas and Nagar Panchayats also. We are offering them that you give us some money for consultancy. I will deploy my men and geotag all the locations. You will get to view that in my ICCC as well as in your computer. So I am getting some models where smart city facilities can be replicated in small municipalities. So thank you so much.
That was wonderful, Amit. Aishwarya needs to go. She's an urgent commitment. So thank you so much, Aishwarya. She has an urgent commitment. Right. So Amit, coming back now, National Urban Digital Mission, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, we are moving to 1,000 cities now. So we'll be deploying sensors around 6 areas: water monitoring, solid waste monitoring, flood monitoring, so another 3-4 areas, STP monitoring. So Amit, I have 2 questions from you. One is the GIS thing you talked about in the first Swachh Bharat mission and all. Typically GIS needs capacity also. Typically GIS needs some solutions also at the back end. So what solution you used so that we can look at those solutions for smaller cities also?
See, working in this particular atmosphere, I have got that there are it is not a very difficult solution, I have got one GIS expert. He knows CAD, CAM and all the GIS software, that's it. I'm paying him 50,000 a month. What is happening is, any photo which is geotagged, like there was one thing, because I got a very bad experience from this robotics and the leakages, that my staff is not agreeing to geotag the photo. Get the thing into the ICCC. What I started doing was, there is an integrated grievance redressal system. Every state has some sort of a grievance redressal system. I took the compliance was very poor in that. Once a complaint is come, again the same complaint will come that we are not satisfied with the complaint. What I try to do is, with every compliance you give me before and after photo, which is geotagged. Till that time, I was not telling them that I will put it in the ICCC. Now what I have done is, I have got all the IGRS solutions or the compliances with geotag photos of before and after, and I have got it in the ICCC, and I have got it generated a heat map identifying the areas of low compliances. So that is a very simple process.
Looks good. Thanks, Amit. I'll come to our last participant, Sandeep, and then I'll come back to Narasimha ji for a detailed discussion. Just a smaller from Sandeep ji. Sandeep, you heard about smart city. We are moving to smaller cities now. Under the next mission we are envisaging, we are setting up a state urban analytics center also in that for every state. Thane has been a very proactive city when it comes to smart city mission. Some of the experiences you can share about Thane smart city?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I would like to thank to Government Connect this for organizing this wonderful session on digital transformation, because basically people think about municipalities, they are working only for gutter, water and meter. But now time has changed. Every city is going for digital transformation. Likewise, Thane is undergoing a digital transformation. City has its own state-of-art integrated command and control center, which is connected with 2,400 CCTV cameras. And several ICT interventions are being integrated with this ICCC to facilitate effective management of the city operations and to deliver the better services to the citizens. Of course, while updating ourselves in the name of technology, we must update ourselves whereas training part is concerned. So, of course, Thane Municipal Corporation conducting regularly training part and training part of our internal staffs for privacy and security, because we are improving ICT infrastructure at very large. So, you must be heard about Thane. I will talk later a little bit about that digital platform. But we are to meet the challenges of digital transformation. We are conducting regularly the training programs of our internal staffs, our officers, and give them the training how to handle this emerging technology, because every day new technology is coming up. So to meet this challenge, we have to update with the pace of emerging technology. So as I mentioned, the city has been steadily improving its ICT infrastructure. Our offices is connected with internet connectivity, property tax, water tax, payments are online, and citizens need not to come to the TMC, means municipality, use of ICCC infrastructures. But whereas digital applications are concerned, I would focus on our DigiThane app. That is one of the pioneer of citizen engagement application. Thane Municipal Corporation became the first urban local body in the country to use digital technology for citizen engagement and effective service delivery on the basis of Israel technology. It is integrated digital program to enable residents of Thane city to access and receive all relevant information about the Thane city, about the services providing to the citizens, and anything which is happening within and around the city. With more than 4,086 registrations and more than 9.1 crore two-way communications, DigiThane is one of the most successful digital transformation example in the country. Every day, more than 17,000 people interact with the municipality about like anything, about the services, about the complaints, about the new activities coming up, whatever. We are also, this is not only an app, this is a platform where having multiple communication systems. One is government to citizens, government to businessmen, business to citizens, citizens to citizens. This platform is having multiple communication systems, so it is very easy to solve the problems at very minimum time. So that's why around 1,000 merchants are connected with this digital platform, and they do their promotional activities. They give the discounts to the digital users. So suppose in the range of 10% to 40% discount they give to the digital users. So these kinds of mechanisms were created in the city. Even emergency SOS response rate of blood donation has a turnaround time of less than 40 minutes, and we are happy to tell that more than 8 lives we have saved through this emergency SOS. Better utilization of online utility services, and because this platform is connected with our property tax, water tax and other services, so people need not to come to the municipality to pay their bills. They can pay from their home, and happy to share that more than 20 crores of property tax we collect in a quarter, means around 80 to 100 crores rupees we collect through this digital platform. So you can imagine how it is useful for the people. Even we give the slots for Sri Ganesh idol immersion also. People can book their slot at home and can reach the spot, immersion spot, at the time which he is been allotted.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. I'll now come back to Narasimha ji. I have a question. From Gujarat being a leader, always I've been associated with the time CCTNS and all those projects were being implemented. So how has digital transformed the law and order, policing in general in Gujarat as a state? Because you have been a leader in the country in almost every sphere I see. So over to you, Narasimha.
Thank you so much. We have started a fantastic beginning by launching a smart city project way back in 2015. Today, 100 plus cities can boast of being smart. But from the policing perspective, when the cities become bigger, if they are to become more and more livable and attractive for citizens to come and habitate there for their own economic growth, development and prosperity, then three things become very critical. Number one, security. When I say security, it includes both physical security as well as cyber security. Today, in fact, Honorable Prime Minister of India had given a call for making police smart. So police will have to transit from manual systems to more smarter technology-based systems. And as part of the effort in Gujarat, we had, as part of the modernization of police forces scheme and several other initiatives of the state, we have something called e-Gujarat, which seeks to capture all the activities of the police station and the subdivisions, district and state headquarters, and has created a 17-year crime criminal database, which is a fantastic tool available at our disposal for providing number of services at the citizen end. Today, for example, passport verification, 95% of the applications are verified in less than 3 days. So that is the kind of capability the police can develop with that kind of database. Number two, the police is today equipped with number of security gadgets, tools, systems and procedures. We have reworked our own internal processes as well to transit from basically what we can say danda based policing to data crunching policing. So you need to be smarter on that count. Number two, on the cyber front, we have done 2-3 things. Number one, we have created what is called Cyber Aishwarya, which is a command and control center having a capacity to deal with all kind of cybercrime related issues, incident response, preventive activities, investigation of crime of all kind, and in fact the national integrated cybercrime coordination portal is largely based on our Cyber Aishwarya program, which was inaugurated by Honorable Union Home Minister. Today we have also set up about 24 plus cybercrime police station, fully equipped with technical manpower. We have in fact hired domain expert on outsourcing basis, because police is not capable of dealing with all kind of issues, and that is one which has augmented our capacity to deal with variety of cyber safety and threats that are emanating from the cyber world. Number two, the most critical thing will be mobility. Many of the cities today claim to be smart, but there are crumbling when it comes to traffic jams have become norms of the day. Any number of cities today are unable to manage the kind of vehicular population that are there, and that is a massive, massive challenge to be dealt by any law enforcement agency in the state. Now, Gujarat, in fact, we are third highest urbanized state in the country. We have 156 nagarpalikas, including 8 mahanagarpalikas. 4 of them are metros, Ahmedabad, Surat, Vadodara, Rajkot, and we have 6 smart cities. Now, mobility cannot be limited to smart cities alone. We adopted a decentralized approach. We said we will cover all the district headquarters, all the metros by smart traffic management and enforcement systems. As part of that strategy, we have set up 18,000 plus CCTV cameras in metros and 41 other cities. Now, we also went about, as I told about being smart in policing, we have inducted 10,000 plus body-worn cameras as well. We have a fleet of 15 drones, we are inducting more. So we have set up an integrated command and control center having capability to basically analyze, use the video footages from the public sources, social media platforms, all kind of sources to deal with the traffic related issues as well as the safety related issues. The women, children, senior citizen and other vulnerable sections of the society are most vulnerable in any urban jungle. One incident of the kind that happened in Delhi, one assault, sexual assault on women can shake the entire conscience of the population living in that area and sends out very, very negative signal. So we want to build out capabilities to deal with these kind of threats, and hence we have adopted a holistic approach to deal with these kind of things. Third will be the emergency response systems. If none of the cities will be smart unless we have a capability to respond to emergencies reported by workforce, women, children, and other vulnerable sections, whether it is sexual assault, whether it is road accident, whether it is a health emergency, whether it is a fire emergency, all these issues will have to be dealt with. So what is on the part of Gujarat Police, we have 1 or 2 integrated basically fire, health, disaster management and police has been brought on a common platform. We have built a fleet of vehicles which are like Ahmedabad city is a smart city, which is also a heritage city, which is having a 7 million plus population. So we have built our capacity to respond to any incident within a short period of less than 10 minutes in almost all kind of situations. So cities will become more livable, more attract more population to come and settle there only if the law enforcement agencies are capable of dealing with these kind of issues. Otherwise, sustainability of urban centers will be a huge, huge challenge. I think even on the cyber security front, if I am to elaborate, a few of the things were said by my colleague as well. So the smart city, authenticate, investigate, and use it for constructive purposes of law enforcement are there in the hands of the state police and also the municipal authorities. They become useless. So government of Gujarat and Gujarat Police in particular have taken host of initiatives to make ourselves capable of dealing with challenges emanating from smart city initiatives of Government of India and Government of Gujarat. Thank you.
Well, that was wonderful, Narasimha ji. And one initiative around the passport verification in 95% within 3 days is a wonderful achievement. As a citizen, I would like to appreciate it very much. Coming back 1 minute to all the participants, I'll talk about data per se, that how good is the data in our cities. Some initiatives happened around smart cities, but how do we move forward on it? starting with you. Now, we started with interoperable criminal justice system, ICJS, a government of India entity, wherein we started to connect police, prison, judiciary, prosecution. How good is the implementation? How good is data? Second, when it comes to, we see developed countries, facial recognition, we see, databases of DNA, all those being linked. How good and how we gonna reach to those levels of developed countries and such? Just 1 minute, quick 1 minute.
CCTNS-based system, as you said, it is called interoperable criminal justice system. As of today, there are issues, but it is a fairly robust system. We have capability to pull out data regarding repeat offenders, professional criminal gangs, organized criminal gangs, and things like that. At the same time, of course, now we are migrating towards ICGS version 2.0. So basically, it is part of it is the technology need to be upgraded and our capability need to be taken to next level. As part of our Safe City project initiative, we are building basically hotspot analysis capabilities, database analysis, predictive policing capabilities, and things like that. So I think in next 1 or 2 years, we will be migrating from what we are today to the next level. Thank you.
Arora ji, 1 minute on the data, significance of data. How good is our data, country's data, and how do we, just 1 minute.
Yes, particularly about the data system in context to the smart cities. Different organizations or stakeholders who are using the technology or these digital infrastructure, they are using the data as per their requirement. But as sir rightly pointed out, unless we have a comprehensive ERP system in the smart cities, in which you are getting data from all the stakeholders, from all the system at a place, and then you are analyzing the data as per the user requirement or as per the requirement of the stakeholders, things will not be that fruitful. So we are moving in that directions, and it will take time unless whole things or whole these technological solution and digital infrastructure is integrated and we get the data compiled through that will be more helpful.
अमित, बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव्स हैं डेटा पे स्मार्ट सिटीज़ में, CDO अपॉइंट हुआ. हाउ इज़ द ग्राउंड लेवल वर्क इन टर्म्स ऑफ डेटा गैदरिंग और क्या करने की ज़रूरत है?
See, there are two things. One is related to the data security, which already has been mentioned. I think CEO जब से मैं हूँ तब से I have been following this STQC compliance, which is there, which we are following, and there is a data protocol also, which any person who wants to work with the smart city in particular data set, he has to also follow. Now the second question is, there are so many platforms which are working. They have to integrate that data into a language which my ICCC or which my existing data set can understand. So that is the problem. Now what happens is, if you take that into your contract or whatever means you have to go forward in that particular thing to implement that thing into your system, then they get ready. Because recently we had we had a discussion with HDFC Bank. They were providing a solution, an app of grievance redressal plus some more solutions were added to it. We asked them that we want an interoperable data which will work in our ICCC also. Whatever you do in your, whatever people will do in your app, your data should be reflected as. Secondly, your data should not be stored with you. It should be stored with me, because my set of servers, the spaces, everything is STQC compliant. So we are working on it, and we should keep that thing in mind. And the government is also doing a lot, because recently we had a team from IB which actually vetted the ICCC facility and all the information which is being gathered. So they also have a fair amount of trust in the system. So we are compliant.
Amit, when I joined National Urban Digital Mission, I couldn't find India's property tax data, that which city is collecting how much property tax. So that was the challenge we had. But now we are working on a national urban dashboard, wherein we are almost 6 states, we have compiled city-wise live data. So we're integrating the property tax system of all the states, even all the IT systems of all the states, so that we have a data. Coming to your point, multiple data sets available, we are again building into one now, national urban dashboard. We'll have one,
yes,
have every data of the city, be it climate, be it sustainable data, or environment data. So we'll be working on that.
One more thing I would like to add, that I was trying to implement the e-office system in my Nagar Nigam. So initially, so many companies and firms came that we will do it free of cost. You just do it for us. Some compliance, give us a bank account or something of that sort. We'll give you a. Then I got to know that it is a very dangerous thing. Most important data is going to get into the e-office. And there's a policy also that I have to go through NIC only. Whatever has to be dealt with, it has to go through the NIC channel. So we are working on it and we will complete it in a short span of time.
Sandeep, last minute on Thane's data.
Yeah, when we talk about the digital transformation, we must talk about the data, because today's governance is data-driven government. And so that's why we have ample data with us. Every city has their own data, but we don't know which data is useful for us. So that's why the collecting data is the most important task. While working in the smart cities, we are focusing on this issue as per the guidelines of Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs and Smart City Mission. So collection of data is not only one task, but the verification of the data, then validating the data, then classification of the data, and finally analysis of the data. This will help you to come out with the policy, to decide the policy matters of your own city. So data is most important in future for your future governance.
Thanks to all the participants. I'll now request Fahim and team to help me.
Thank you so much to all our panelists for this wonderful discussion. Can we please have a big hand for all of them? And now to present them with the mementos, I would now request Mr. Abid Ali Qadri, Public Sector Lead India South Asia, to please present them with the mementos. Can we please have a group photograph of everyone?